So I think we all love a good dividend payment, getting that money into your account every month or every quarter just for holding onto a company's stock. What is not to like? And we're fairly lucky, to be honest, here in the UK that a lot of our stock market, a lot of the FTSE 100 especially, are large dividend paying stocks versus the amazing tech stocks and growth stocks that we normally see across the other side of the pond. And in fact, the FTSE 100 is nearly twice as generous as the likes of the S&P 500 when we compare it to the dividend yield, and typically the FTSE 100 sits around the 3.4 to the 4% mark of how much money that you will get back by having invested in those stocks. And at the moment, it's sitting around the 3.4% mark, with a good forecast for it to grow over the next few years. But putting that aside, here's today's question. Can we actually build a dividend portfolio that pays you every single month rather than just quarterly, or rather than just aim toward one part of the year? Can we actually put something together that gets ourselves consistent income? Well, we're about to find out. So we know lots of companies pay dividends. Some of them pay quarterly, some of them pay a couple of times a year, some will even just pay once a year. And then of course you do get the odd special dividend, which you get as a complete surprise because the company's done really well. But the main thing is trying to figure out how can we get a consistent income throughout the year? Because at the moment, dividends are very much like buses. They're all paid around the similar time of year. In fact, they're heavily concentrated toward the end of years and heavily concentrated once a company's finished their financial year, so they can do all the adding up and tot up how much they want to pay to us lowly little shareholders. Now, this really is just a bit of fun because at the end of the day, if you're still making £10,000 a year from all your dividends and it comes in 1 month, or spread out across 12 months, it's still £10,000. But if you were later on down the line and looking to generate a bit of income from these, this is something you might want to look at, and you might want to consider dividend paying dates as part of doing all of your own research. The good news is, before we head on, that it is actually possible to get some kind of dividend in every single month of the year. So regardless of whether the sun is shining or there's leaves on the floor, you can actually get some money in your account. Now, if you didn't already know, I've started a little dividend portfolio over on Free Trade that I built out, and you can watch that video somewhere up here, or maybe up here. There? Watch that one later on. Now, I've got some big names in that account and I'm really just looking to grow that one over time. Hey, maybe I'll grow it to the point where it can actually pay some of my living expenses, but it's just a bit of fun for the time being. But I made it really just to show you the benefits of how easy it is to get started investing, and also how easy it is to just get those dividends reinvested and the power of that compound interest over a long period of time. So now let's jump into the calendar and work out every single month of the year which company is going to pay us a dividend, and hopefully which company is going to pay us more of a secure dividend rather than messing around with people who are just paying us a one-off. So let's get started. So to kick things off in the new year in January, we'd use GlaxoSmithKline, heavily referred to also as GSK. As you all know, or you may know already, this is a big pharmaceutical giant. These guys have paid a dividend for a very, very long time indeed, are a huge stalwart in the industry. They're not going to grow anytime fast, and they're not going to grow really, really quick. They're certainly not going to do anything like Tesla's done recently, but this could be a really, really good company to have in your portfolio, and certainly one that I'd be hanging on to for a long, long time. In chilly February, I was considering two different stocks here. We've got two big payers, not only BT, but British American Tobacco. Now, I wanted to avoid the dirty stuff, so that kind of left me already with BT. I don't currently own any BT stock at the moment in my free trade portfolio. Be aware that while BT, of course, used to pay dividends quite healthily, they have suspended them and cut them until at least 2022. And they gave the reasons that they actually wanted to free up that cash and actually finally reinvest back into the business, especially, as I've mentioned, to do with the 5G rollout. So if anything, this is just a lesson, as I was going to mention at the end, that dividends are not set in stone. But anyway, on to the next month. Jumping into March, the end of that first financial quarter, I've picked here Unilever. And of course, for a lot of you, this will need no introductions at all. And Unilever own 400 different kinds of brands, everything from toiletries, food, and all kinds of different things. Pretty much anything that makes you look good, smell good, and feel good. So regardless of an economic condition, this company should do pretty well. And they generate a lot of their income also internationally. So another big tick in the box for me, and one that we could rely on for many years to come. Heading into April, I've chosen Diageo here. Again, another one, it will probably need no introduction unless you haven't heard of it before. These guys own over 200 different kinds of alcoholic drinks brands, everything from Johnny Walker to Guinness. So whatever your taste, whatever you enjoy as your tipple, these guys will do pretty well, selling most of their products again around the world, and also paying a very reliable dividend. Nothing too massive, but very reliable and growing nonetheless. Jumping into May, things are getting a bit warmer outside, so Legal & General stepping in here to pay us our dividend. These guys work, of course, in the insurance sector in the financial services industry. Again, another company which will give us a little bit of growth. Actually, I do own Legal & General at the moment in my main portfolio, Growth has been pretty good so far, touch wood, and they're also a really nice, reliable dividend payer. I think at the moment their dividend yield was above 5%, which is pretty healthy, so long may that one live. In June, I was jumping up between a couple of different choices. We could choose BP or Unilever here. Now, I know we've already chose Unilever before, so let's jump in and choose BP here, and I am going to use them also later. BP will need no introductions, as I've said many times before. So BP, of course, one of the big oil super major giants. They just released some results, which I'll talk about later. These guys aren't going to go anywhere soon and pay a handsome dividend and are very reliable too. In July, as things get a bit hotter and we head to those summer holidays, I'm going to change things up a bit here. In July, I'm going to actually expose us to a REIT, so a real estate investment trust. Now, we haven't got a huge amount here in the UK to expose ourselves to, but the one I choose here is going to be operating in commercial property. Now, they have taken a bit of a hit since 2020, but will be on a bit of a recovery play here. And of course, when we think about commercial property, we think of really long-term leases from pretty reliable companies who are going to pay that rent, and that means that you as an individual investor get some pretty good exposure too. So this one will be the BMO Real Estate Investment Trust. So just look out for that one, but this one actually pays monthly as a bit of bonus too. In August, when we haven't got any of the heating on, the National Grid steps in to actually pay us our dividend, quite ironically. So while we actually need less gas and electricity in the summertime, National Grid step in to pay us that healthy, handsome dividend. Again, this company is not going to particularly be growing anytime fast, but it is going to be an extremely reliable dividend payer, which will hopefully even out those highs and lows of the economy or any potential market crashes or corrections along the way. In September, we're going to go with Aviva. Now, they have paid in September before. Sometimes, of course, dates can change, so just be aware of that one. But there's another company here which operates in the financial services industry. Again, everything from insurance to investments, pensions, you name it. I'm sure a lot of you have probably even got a workplace pension with these guys at some point. Huge old company, lots of different customers, well exposed. Again, are going to do pretty well throughout all economic different conditions, and one which pays a healthy dividend and has paid a consistent dividend for a very long time. Right, it's October. We don't want to leave the house. It's getting a bit cold. It's getting a bit chilly. So I'm going to be really lazy here and use GSK again, because luckily they pay dividends multiple times a year. And again, I'm thinking consumer staples, lots of different things which we need to get along, and lots of different things which people are going to always buy throughout the year. So we're going to jump them into this one. In November, your favorite place to shop, where I used to do a lot of my shopping until my girlfriend moved me to Aldi, and I haven't really looked back since. We're going to choose Tesco for November's payment. Throughout the last couple of years, Tesco has absolutely soared in price and soared in value, as a lot of the supermarkets have, because even during economic downturns and massive market crashes, you can't get away from the fact that you are actually a human and you do need to buy food and drink. So the big supermarkets are going to gobble up a lot of that money, and regardless of whether you're flush with cash, you do need to eat food, so make sure you stay hydrated. There's nothing like free money. Every little helps. I had to get that in there somewhere. Sorry. And finally, again, as we head into December, as we head into the festive month, I am going to double up again on another stock, and we're going to get our second dividend and another dividend from BP here. Now, they did just release some of their most recent results, and they did post a loss, but there was plenty of positive news in there. This company isn't going to go anywhere anytime soon, and of course, they are increasing lots of their revenues and increasing their revenue streams due to the price of oil. And as you may already know, oil does more than just go into your car. And even as the company moves to a more green and sustainable world, there's going to be huge demand around the world for their products and services. So this dividend payer is going to be here for the long run. Right, so we've made it through the entire year. I'll put everything up on screen now as a bit of a recap. So I'll give you a few seconds so you can capture that. That will take you through every single month of the year, so we can see every single company that we've picked. And in theory, this gives us a monthly income every single month without fail. How much you put into that is completely up to you. Everything, as always, is down to your own individual circumstances. This, as you can imagine, is just a bit of fun, just to give you a few ideas and throw a few things around that suggest that you can actually get monthly income and build it out yourself, and it's not as difficult as other people might seem. Just a note though, to remember that dividends are not guaranteed at all, although lots of these companies have paid dividends for many, many years. Nothing is set in stone, nothing is guaranteed, and many companies we saw in 2020 stopped paying dividends or completely cut them too. So just be aware of that one. And of course, similar with dates, some of these payment dates have been one-offs and they have moved around historically, so do not trust everything in this. If you probably watch it a couple of months later, do all of your own research, make sure you double check everything I've done here. I've probably made about a dozen clangers in this video, so let me know in the comment section below, but hey, at least my nose isn't blocked from the last couple of videos. And one final thing to say, of course, there are other ways to get monthly income. You could just buy all these as part of an exchange traded fund. Again, I did another video on this subject recently, so you could just get one fund, let everyone else manage it for you. But of course, the downside then is you're going to pay those ongoing costs and those charges to do so. So if you want to put a little bit more effort in and manage your investments, this could be the way to go. Anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed the video. Just a little bit of fun this time. If you do enjoy videos talking about dividend stocks and dividend investing, which I'm getting a bit more into and getting a bit more information on, please do let me know in the comment section below. Drop me a big fat like, it always helps small channels like mine. Subscribe for many, many more videos indeed. I will see you guys in the next one. And as always, happy investing.